Okay, we're back with the final round of action now. Only got 3 matches because there was a buy and a drop. So we're going to jump in for the feature match here between Joe Yudikovic and Josh Grace. Josh on his green-white value deck and Joe's on his red-black Goryo's Vengeance. So, turn 2 Corso of Crucifix here from Josh, revealing a Scavenging Ooze coming down next turn. Not sure what green-white, obviously with white he can bring in something like a Rest in Peace, will shut this down next turn. And looks like Joe's been missing land drops, so this is crucial here. Voice of Resurgence and a Tireless Tracker. It looks like Joe probably, at the bare minimum, is stumbling on red mana. And there's his red source. So let's see if he can fire on this turn. No, he's going to need at least another turn. Cathartic Reunion to draw 2 and draw 3. Sorry, you discard the 2 cards first, and then you draw the 3 cards. A common, so red-black Reanimator Pauper deck. So you can see here he discards Nourishing Shoal and Through the Breach. Through the Breach is probably because he's not going to last that long. Nourishing Shoal, I'm not so sure about. So you can see the benefit of the Corsair here. He can play the card off the top. He's going to get life. He's going to get a clue from the tracker. He can crack that Foothills, get another life that'll pay for the crack. Get another clue. If he doesn't like what he saw on top, he can shuffle it away, which he did. Gets to Path to Exile. And I think now that he's shown Path to Exile, and especially now that he's shown Scavenging Ooze, I think this one is over. Scavenging Ooze with access to 2 green can take down any reanimated target that Joe's going to put in his graveyard. Joe down to 9, so Josh has actually got lethal on board next turn. Well, there's a risk, he's tapped out, so if Joe can win the match here, the Scavenging Ooze can't stop the graveyard now. Let's see if he can go off. I wonder if that play there is because Josh is not familiar with the deck he's up against. Discards the Temple of Malice and the Knight's Whisper, so he still doesn't have a target in the graveyard. Now a Faithless Looting. But with no mana floating, I don't believe he can win the match from here. Discards 2 more lands. So I think it's going to be a concession here. Yes, Joe's conceded game 1. And the damage will be pushed through, so we'll switch to another match while they sideboard. This is Lorenzo's mono blue concoction up against Felix's. We call it, I'm guessing we're calling it Titan Shift. Wow, that's a big play. Counters the Hour of Promise, so he gets a spell himself, and then he can search for 2 lands. Disrupting Shoal and Trickbind get exiled.
Is this my buggy?
Yep.
Can I have one shot?
So a big counter spell there, but and you can see the scrying at the end of the turn there. And importantly here, tapped out. Yeah, Felix says so much feature. We've got Giraffe, who's Bob Debonese has decided to watch, and Eric Heldman is Wim de Kock, who actually played in this tournament. He's come over and had a look as well. It's kind of an interesting situation here for Lorenzo. He's got the Vidalcan Shackles that can take the Primeval Titan, but Felix can actually win the match without needing the Titan at all. He just resolves the scape shift, but to complicate things, he's up against a deck that plays a ton of counter spells. We'll just check back and see if our feature match is going on, if we're back in. This is the match to decide the winner. Between Joe Yeti Kovac at the top on red-black Goryo's Vengeance, and Josh Grace at the bottom is on the green-white value deck. Josh took down game one quite comfortably when Joe stumbled on lands. Of course, the winner of this match takes down our very first Modern Cup. The other match still has bragging rights. You can claim a top 4 finish. So what can Joe do here? Is he going to stumble on lands again? He has. So the same as the first match, he stumbles on a second land drop. He discards a Grizzlebrand to hand size, so if he can get that second land, you'd assume he's probably got the Goryo's Vengeance if he's kept that sort of a hand. But he's got a real clock here as the knight gets in for 5 each turn. So does Josh have a scavenging ooze? He does not. So here we go. What can... We've got the watchers here now. Wim and Bob have joined us, watching the feature match. He finds a second land. So does he have the Goryo's Vengeance? I assume that's from the other match. He does. He's got the Goryo's Vengeance. He's got the Grizzlebrand in the graveyard. So now he can go to work. But he's got that knight. So Grizzlebrand gets in. So he's just getting the life gain at the moment. Oh, and there's a path to exile. So is he going to go down to 7 here? He is, because the path to exile means that there can't be a collector company cast on this turn. In response, he'll exile the Nourishing Shoal, exiling the Worldspine Worm to get the 11 life. All this with path to exile on the stack. So he's going to get a second activation of Grizzlebrand to go to 11. I don't think Josh has it. Oh, he's going to go to 4. So still the path to exile on the stack. He's drawn 30 cards now. He's drawn 30 cards and down to 8 life. Again, a nourishing shoal. Exile Simian Spirit Guide. Exile Simian Spirit Guide. Gains 11 life. He's got 3 red floating. So after all this, he's back up to 19. He's going to peg Josh. No, he's not going to peg Josh because the path to exile is still sitting on the stack. All of these annoying boxes popping up are from different matches. I'm not sure what the problem is there. Let me just maybe go back and... Okay, how do I unwatch? Okay, so we've still got this this path to exile sitting on the stack. Grizzlebrand's enabled him, Joe, to draw 26 cards. So he's had 3 world spine worms have been exiled so far to draw these cards. I think Joe's just thinking up the combination that can win him the match the next turn. He's going to draw another 7, go to 12. I don't believe the knight can actually win it for him from here. If he finds a fetch land and cracks it, would make it a 5 and then a 6. So Joe does have 2 turns to sort this out. And again, he's going to go for another nourishing shoal. Presumably exiling the 4th world spine worm. Yeah, there it goes, exiling the 4th world spine worm. So this is going to put him up to 23 life. Well, while all this is going on, the path to exile is still sitting on the stack. And Josh won game 1. Hello, Wim. Can you hear me? Are you there, Wim? Good, good. I'm joined very late here by Wim Dehaan on here. Yeah, late into this match. Just the volume. Your volume is very low. Now he's floated. Joe's floated. Okay, he's got 35 cards. I think he's got this match. He floated. Let me see where I can. So out of 31 cards, he's surely got enough lands in there to get rid of them all to do the 18 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's got plenty. So he managed to pull it out in the end and take game 2 and force a game 3 here. Can I turn this? See if I can turn the volume. Okay, so Joe's forced to game 3. We'll just look at the tournaments. There's a game 3 as well between Lorenzo and... We'll just have a look at the game 3 between Felix and Lorenzo just while we wait for the sideboarding. Match has started. Yep. Okay, so we're back in now for game 3. This is between Josh Grace on the bottom with his green-white value deck up against the red-black vengeance deck at the top, piloted by Joe Yedikovac III. Yeah, Scavenging Ooze is going to put a major dent in the plan here. The Ooze can just target whatever he's wanting to get with the Goryo's Vengeance, so before he can do anything he needs to get that Ooze off. Oh, he can do it right now if he's got something. Yeah, he somehow needs to... He needs to black for the Goryo's Vengeance. He doesn't have it anyway, as he passes the turn. I think Josh Grace has got this match won as long as he holds up green mana for Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, so you can see here he's getting active getting rid of that world spine worm. I think so. He must use the world spine worm as a target for through the breach, and he can. And also, of course, it's an exile effect to nourishing shoal. He's just needs. I think before he does anything, he needs the answer for that scavenging ooze. He's taking 5 a turn. We saw in the last game we thought he was in trouble, but he managed to pull it out, so we'll see what he can do this time. What is this? Okay, so he's got 2 spirit guides, so this could be the match right here. Possibly for Grizzlebrand to draw cards. Almost fired up the collected company. Does he? No, it looks like no. So company in response, what would he be looking for here? No, he's not gonna. He doesn't have an answer with collected company. If he had blue, he possibly has reflector mage.
Are you finished with your thing?
5 more minutes.
Can I count?
You go and hold him to bed, and he'll come in a second.
Can we count for 5? 1, 2, 0, 5. Okay, we're done.
Go on, wait and go, please.
Mom, can you turn on the show for me?
You can turn it on. You know how to switch it on.
Okay, that
Okay, sorry, I had to duck out for a second. So he's... He drew to 9 cards, but he's going to pass the turn. And there's a collected company at the end of the turn. So this is a big one. He's down to 12, so he's got Joe down to 12. He's got probably a 2-turn clock here. 5 damage on board. I don't think he can find 7. No. Drawing a knight the next turn. And we know because he didn't do anything to the Grizzlebrand previously that he doesn't have a path to exile. So he's going to draw the knight for the turn. This is all before end step, so Joe still has to discard 2 cards. So this is it. He's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's tapped out here. Grizzlebrand in the graveyard for Joe. But it's going to be Josh's turn. As Joe's discarding now, so the Grizzlebrand's probably as good as dead from the scavenging ooze. Ooze can take down 2. So you think surely the Grizzlebrand is gone. Temple Garden on the top of the deck he can play, so he could possibly take down 3 cards. It'll make Scavenging Ooze a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he's too short of lethal. If he had 2 of his own creatures, which he doesn't. So, before combat, you'll get the extra point in by taking down the Grizzlebrand with the Scavenging Ooze. So, Joe's down to 2. This is it. Must do something now. If he has a Through the Breach with a World Spine Worm, he would win. Assuming he has the 5th land or a Simian Spirit Guide. What can he do? 8 cards in hand. This is for the match. Plays the 5th land, so Through the Breach is online. Doesn't have it. Faithless leading to draw 2. Josh can only get rid of 1 card from the graveyard. But Josh can just wait until the till the Goryo's Vengeance targets something and then use the Scavenging Ooze in response. Tough choice here for Joe. He's drawn 2 cards. He's got to decide which 2 he has to discard. If he's going to discard a creature, he needs to discard 2 of them. Otherwise, he just dies to Scavenging Ooze. Okay, so he had the 2 cards, the Borborygmos Enraged and the Grizzlebrand, which he discards. So he's got 2 in there. The problem here is he needs 2 Goryo's Vengeance. Because whatever he targets with the first one, Scavenging Ooze is going to gobble up. Plays a Metamorphose to draw a card. He floats 4 mana, so he just needs, because the Ooze is a 4-powered creature, he needs to terminate. Then he has the mana available to play the Goryo's Vengeance. He's going to go for Goryo's Vengeance here, so we'll see if he's got 2 in hand. What's he going to target? He can't get, he has to attack first with Grizzlebrand. So if he takes Grizzlebrand and Josh has he's gone after the Borborygmos Enraged. So we'll see, there's a Scavenging Ooze activation and response. And Joe's conceded, so Josh Grace takes down our first Modern Cup with his green... with his green-white value deck. And he cleverly ghost quarters himself to get another forest and targets Grizzlebrand. So there's nothing left in the graveyard now for Joe. And Joe can only pass the turn. Is he going to make Josh play it out here? Yes, he is. So it just needs a swing from Josh. Any one of these 4 creatures can hit, and Josh will win our first Modern Cup. And that is it. Josh has won the Modern Cup. Congratulations to Josh Grace. You can see at the top of the screen there, Wim has taken down 2nd spot on tiebreakers, so Joe finishes 3rd. Then we have a number of players back on at 3 points. And that does it. That's all the coverage from the first cup that we've held, the Modern Cup. It's been taken down by Josh Grace with his green-white company deck. Thank you for joining us.